Robby Robinson is here. This is great for me. We're training partners down in Venice, California. And like Stan said, this is a fun show, the Emerald Cup. I was at the start of the Emerald Cup back in '83. I started competing in '83, and then I got to watch some of you guys know Kim Ferrison, right? So I got to see him, beautiful body, in 1985, winning the overall, Mike Harris. So I've been in it for a while, but I have not been in it as long as this man. He started at least a year before me, right?
I love what I do. I started when I was like 5 years old. And during that time period, it hasn't changed. My love for it hasn't changed. I still do it. It's just because I'm a 19-year-old kid. I don't feel old. I feel alive, young, for 72. And I think a lot of it contributes to being healthy. I do follow a heavy regime. I've been doing so my whole life. I grew up on a farm, eating good, healthy food. And I never slipped away from it. I've never eaten a Big Mac, hamburgers, Coke, dose of fries. I just never indulged in it. It's not that I love bodybuilding so much. I just wanted to be healthy. When I came out of it, my career was over. I didn't want to suffer any kind of medical or health issues. So I just told that regime. I still feel I enjoy eating healthy, and working with Mike kind of it actually has improved my body completely, seriously. Being older, you're not gonna be able to put on that muscle like you want to unless you are using some kind of chemicals. So training with him 4 a.m. every morning, sometimes I miss because of my own schedules, but basically it's 4 a.m. every morning. And we do the basics. Only we train together because he likes volume and I like volume. So the body works in a certain order that at this point, being 72, my body has just grown, really. Power body lives between Mike and myself.
The funny thing, I think, is even though we're both in the industry and Stan's in the industry, we don't get a lot of time to communicate about philosophy of training and stuff.
Exactly.
And one of the beautiful things is when we started training together, the similarities of how we train. Again, we both believe in heavy, and mostly heavy for the exercise we're doing. And something I would like for us to do today, if it's okay with you guys, is we'll talk nutrition and stuff like that, but I think Stan covered a great amount of nutrition.
Yeah.
We really like to talk to you guys about, because it really comes down to a large number of people can get you in shape. There's a billion trainers out there and they can all get you into shape. Cut calories, do a couple hours of cardio, we'll get you there. We'd like to really talk to you guys about now staying there and being able to maintain that for a lifetime. One of the things is people tell you what you can and cannot do. It's a beautiful thing to keep everybody down. I don't know if you guys watch any of the NFL draft, but you got guys that are monsters at 18 and 19 and 20 now going pro football. Much bigger than I will ever be. And the point is, again, the human body is amazing, and there is no limitation on what you can do. You guys probably know that I'm a 4-time Mr. Natural Universe. I got tested throughout my career. That being said, people are going to have opinions. I was drug-free during the time, they're going to say, or whatever it is. That's okay. It doesn't interfere with what I do and what I believe. I believe that I wanted to be like this man and be a guy that was jacked throughout my whole lifetime. And like you were saying, he started really doing push-ups and working out, from 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. I did the same thing. I started when I was 8 years old, doing push-ups and working out. And I actually started lifting weights at 8 and 9 years old. But it's something we've been able to continue to do and stay injury-free. So we've had owies, but there's a huge difference between an owie and an injury. We both agreed to work through owies. We don't take time off. We work things that are around those injuries or those owies and continue to move forward and keep building through that. Time off for us It's just something that we don't accept, and that we love it. And if you love this enough, let's get you in shape. And that's what Stan, are you gonna come up here with us too?
Oh, was I supposed to?
Yeah.
Because I know these guys love you. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I respect this man tremendously, and he gives me such a fire. And he has a gift for words.
I thought they heard enough from me already. I'd like to hear Robby. I heard enough from you, man.
Old school alive. So, if you guys have questions, I would like to do the reverse and answer questions. Does that sound good to you?
I like that.
And we're here to help you guys on your training, nutrition, and lifting.
What about prep? You know, when he's getting ready for a show, what is the best that you? I know it depends on you know how much water you drink, but there's a lot of you know, do you do carb depleting and then just protein and water you take out. So
Getting ready for the Olympia and how you dieted down for that?
Well, I'm always eating prepared for a competition myself. My mindset is always to be awesome. You know, I grew into that, and my whole goal was to go in and have the most incredible physique that was come out that the judges want to call me. I always wanted to go for that first call out. So if I got in that first call out, then it's a duel. Because the 7 mandatory poses masters that whole thing. If you got them down, it's hard to beat the guy that's in great shape. I loved it. I thought, I've never gained a lot of weight. I think sometime in the magazines you guys might have seen I weighed 225, 230. I've never weighed 225, 230 in my life. I think that's a lot of, you know, to sell products or to sell, you know, what they're trying to get done with. I've never weighed no more than probably about 280 to 210. If I eat a little unordinary, then I might go up to 215, something like that. With a little water, the muscles are not right there, but I know if I go back to my normal regime, it's gonna go back to normal. So I always stayed in the area of probably about 10 to 12% body fat. My body fat now is probably 4, 5, 3, 4, 3.8, 3.4, something like that. But I've always been muscular naturally. I didn't really have to put on a lot of, you know, overall weight. So I think I have big muscle side, big muscle balance because I train so heavy. And that keeps me looking bigger on stage under the lights because the stage gives you 5 pounds if the stage is lit correctly. So I will come in at 210, I look 215 on stage. If I come in at 220, then I'm not gonna look as sharp or as clear. So if I come in at anywhere between 210 and 215, 212, I'm dead on, so I'm just saying.
Did you cut a lot of?
It's dinner between you and me and those 7 mandatory poses.
Did you cut a
But
lot
I
of
enjoy it.
carbs?
It's a 90-day thing for myself, basically.
90 days?
90 days.
Did you cut a lot of carbs down?
I cut the carbs down. I probably get it in probably anywhere between 2,650, 3,000 maybe. On the heavy days, I'll rotate it a little bit. But basically, it's around about 2,000. I'm probably getting about 134 grams of carbs, oats, 400 grams of protein. But see, I count protein in everything. The broccoli, the carrots, the vegetables, whatever. It mounts up to probably about 400 grams of protein total. And then probably come to the show time, the last month or so, I'll drop it down to probably 315 grams of protein, a little bit less carbs and a little bit more fat. Because without the fat, you're not going to have the energy, and you're not going to have the overall shape of muscle. So I always kind of keep the fat a little bit high. I take fat with every meal, flaxseed oil, udo oil, all the different oils, to keep me getting that up to 120 calories. So my body's going to just basically build muscle from that point on. Showtime.
I cut carbs, you know. I always like being slimmer than bigger. I like the structure of the body relative to being a mass monster. So I cut them down.
5 days before 5 days, or are you start like?
Oh no, I
2
start
weeks out?
prepping. I start prepping 3 months out.
Right.
Yeah, and then I start lowering the calories and taking out the carbs, depending on how the body's looking.
You mean starchy carbs, right? But you still have
Carbs.
You still have veggies. You know, fibrous carbs.
Not a
right?
veggie guy. I'm not a veggie guy.
So just protein.
Yeah, yeah, and for me too, competing was not just about competing and going in and winning a show. It was about the mindset of what I can do as I get ready for a show. So I always purposely diet harder than I need to, because for me that's fun. And it was just, I got more excitement out of that. I never walked on stage and looked at the other guys and said, oh, I want that body. I was happy with what I was creating for me. So that's it. Like, yeah.
Hey, we are live on the Instagram for Great Productions, and Darius Jean Fitness wants to know, how do you guys find balance in your life?
I don't. How do you find balance? How do you find balance in your life? And I would say I don't. I'm very focused and very one way, and have dreams that I want to conquer, and I have to give up other things for that. It's probably the first time that I'm trying to find that now. You know, I'm 134, so it's, you know, I got to figure this out sooner.
You and Robby are two different sizes, and you say, you know, you start prepping 90 days out. Where are your carbs, you know, grams of carbs versus Robby's grams of carbs and your protein when you start at that point?
I'm the opposite of Robby. I don't really look at my body weight going into a show, but I get big off season. I'm usually about 285, 290, and my carbs are high. I'm a carb guy.
Like when
I
you
believe
say
in
high,
carbohydrates. Got to know.
Give me a number.
500 grams.
Okay,
You know,
and then before competition.
Before a competition, it can get down to anywhere between 100 and going into a show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what about your protein?
Yeah.
Protein the same?
Protein usually stays the same throughout the whole process.
How many grams of protein do you take in?
About 300.
300? Okay.
And that just stays the same.
Okay. Okay. And that's 300 just in your protein, not like Robby counts in the vegetables and all
No.
that. Because you don't eat vegetables.
No, I just can't count.
What about
But,
what about in diuretic? Do you believe in diuretic?
No.
Or just cut down water?
No. I don't believe in diuretics, but I came from a time where everybody did like, they would look great before shows, and that last week before a show, you're walking around the gym, and I'm like, wow, you look incredible, and then they walk up on stage the day of the show, and they look terrible, and then they come off and they give you all the reasons why they look terrible. Well, somebody said this, and I took diuretics, and they just fall apart. I understand, because you're getting rid of calories and your mindset and what we see in the mirror and what's really going on is two different things. And so it's easy to play with it at that point. And people to give you advice, and you start taking everybody's advice. You got a game plan, stay with that game plan. You know, I've seen too many guys that could have won shows take 15th. So, yeah, I stay away from the Lasix and all that kind of diuretics and stuff like that. What about you? Balance. Balance in life. Stan, I know, has got a great one. He's got
Took me a while. You know, you being a professional bodybuilder, when I came in the 70s, thinking I wanted to be famous, with all this thing, everything, on all the titles. I was at my teacher magazines. I want to be known all over the world. And when I got there, I thought, I don't like this. I want something different. But, you know, it's difficult when you're out there into that world and you're doing all of that to actually find it, man. I think sometimes it takes a nice lady, like mom, to kind of get you straight. You start touring the line and you get your life organized. And I think the biggest thing, you know, as I've gotten older and observed and did a lot of reading, I think guys should listen to the ladies. I'm starting to learn that, you know, as I've grown older. So it takes a bit. It takes a bit to find that complete balance in all of it. But once you do, you kind of like, you're very happy about it. So I think I'm going into that level at 72 where I can find some kind of balance with the business part of it, with the travel part of it, and not be panicking. Oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. So I think it takes somebody else in your life also, people around you, having good people around you plays a huge role in that. Everybody just say you can't do, get rid of them. If you can do, keep them on board. That's how I do it.
I think you can answer it better than us.
Oh, no, I just have my own technique, and I've always been the kind of guy I have checklists. I just have everything that I do every day, I make sure that what I'm supposed to do every day, I make sure I check it off on a checklist. That's how I stay compliant. And that's also how I check myself. I look and see if my progress is declined, I can quickly glance at my checklist. I have a spreadsheet every day of the month and everything I think I need to do every day to accomplish, my health and fitness goals. When I went to bed, when I wake up, what time I went to bed in the morning, or when I wait in the morning, my daily carrot, my daily orange, it's all on this list, my vitamin D. I look at this list and I see if there's big gaps in it, I know why I feel bad. And if I'm feeling great, it's because I'm on point with all those things. So I'm the kind of guy, I'm meticulous. My dad was an engineer, and so math was always my thing, and I just keep track of everything. And even if you ask me to do something and I don't pull out my phone and put it on my calendar, it's not happening. And so I put everything down there that I don't have to remember anything. I offload it all onto my checklist or my phone, and then I go to sleep at night like a baby because it's all going to be there waiting for me when I wake up.
I love that, because I'm the same way. I write things down, affirmations, anything like that for me. To answer your kind of question is, how do we find balance? We're extremists in one sense, but at the same time, we do make lists. We do try to check it off. We do try to stay on, and it's assuming relative to what's important in life, family, training, business, in that aspect.
Yeah, I'll sum it up by saying this: you can be great at anything, but you can't be great at everything. And so we make sacrifices. We choose what our goals are, and we are of the mindset that we're going to pursue those to the exclusion of many other things, and we focus on those.
I will say this because Robbie brought it up, is that, again, it's that partner that you're with is a huge thing. So I didn't have that significant other until lately, and Mona, calling you out. So, and she takes off so much pressure off of my lifestyle, because she's such a savage when it comes to business. So I got to stay true to what I'm doing and my passion, and it's actually made me better than when I was in my 20s. So that's a huge portion of it. So, and I know that this is outside the realm of health and fitness, but it is that support crew that is around you. You're going to go through life, and there's going to be people that are pulling you away from what you want, your dreams. And then you're going to find other people that are actually push you and motivate you. Family, friends, whatever it is. If they're pushing and motivating you, keep them around, because that does help. Any more questions from there? Mona, any questions on there?
I'm just asking about carbs and proteins, like what your intake is, and boring stuff.
I kind of give you
Boring stuff.
an idea for me. I believe in always changing, and always calories are a big key part, but also how my body functions. So if I'm getting ready for shoots and stuff and I'm getting rid of carbs, I know that I'm changing the way my body functions. And so as soon as those shoots and stuff are done, or filming is done for movies or whatever it is, I introduce them again and allow my body time to understand how it's functioning again, and slowly reverse out of the diet. Okay, now just like Robbie, we've never missed meals. We don't eat bad. So, but I am always changing calorie intake. Always changing it. So it's always getting used to it. So you guys, I don't know if you guys follow me on social media, but I was doing 4 pounds of fruit at night. And that wasn't just right then. I didn't just jump to 4 pounds of fruit, but obviously I got in the best shape of my life for New Year's. And that was the goal. But then I reintroduced carbohydrates, or a large portion of it. I love fruit. Fruit makes me strong. And so I slowly brought it back in, but I also brought it back in at night to help me sleep and go and recover. And I train early in the morning, give me that extra energy. And I slowly built it up until my body was utilizing the calories again. Okay, so I'm not saying you guys should go home and do this. What I'm saying is your body changes. It changes with age, it changes with time, it changes with exercise. It always changes. And so my belief is to teach it and then listen to your body. This is one of the biggest things, is everybody changes their diet, and then 2 days in, they drop 4 pounds. Wow, this is great. I'm set, I'm on the right track. It's just you cleaning up the diet, maybe, dropping some water. Give it a couple weeks. Don't be so quick on this. Let your body, get working on it and utilize it.
I totally agree. I weigh everything. I weigh the broccoli, I weigh the meat. I weigh everything.
So does
Everything
Mike.
is measured out
Yeah.
on my eating plan, so I know exactly what I'm eating. I know exactly the amount of calories I'm consuming each day, and I follow that regimen. I don't deviate from it. Every now and then I might give myself a little bit more protein, a little more vegetables, but I always kind of keep it targeted. So any change that I make is always more muscle, strength, more ripped up, more separation, clear, tighter skin. So I kind of rotate and weigh everything completely, right down to the water. Like I'll drink 16 ounces of water before I eat, 30 minutes, 16 ounces of water, 30 minutes afterward. So all that does is speeds up your body's digestion and take of food. Food is passing out to your body at a rapid rate, but what you're doing is just getting tighter and tighter, and all the water stays in the muscle. You're a lot of guys say, well, I'm smooth, I don't look right. Well, the reason it doesn't look right because all the water is in the skin. It should be in the muscle. So you have to learn how to transfer that water in the skin, under the skin, directly to the muscle. Now you kind of complete, tight, toned, hard, muscular, deeply separated physique.
Something he's just said, I just want to say before we're saying, he weighs everything. I'm a big believer in an ounce. Because if you eat 8 meals a day and it's 1 ounce,
Yeah.
that adds up. And I know that it might go, it's so little, I'll eyeball it. And for him and me, we don't do that because an ounce is something, and this is fun for me, and I'm always my own experiment, and I always like to go, I wonder if I could take in another 250 calories this week. And it's just an ounce here for 8 meals. You see the small change, but it's a huge change. And so it's fun for me.
Yep.
And I love weighing it.
I like to see the change.
You don't have to be that rigid, but for us it works.
I've always kind of, before coming into bodybuilding, I really have this idea about taking protein and glutamine and creatine and all the supplements. I just totally wasn't into it. I basically got all my juice and directly from food. So as I got older, I realized that, okay, the food is not being digested, it's not moving as fast through my body like I like, so I started adding certain supplements. And from that alone, I noticed a difference because I think good high quality supplements definitely feeds and fuels the food that you eat. So it allowed me to become, I think again, more muscular, less saggy skin as I've gotten older. Everything seemed to be pretty tight and hard, and I feel all the water directly in the muscle, so whenever I pose or flex, that body should be in. That's how I feel about it.
So if we're talking about supplements, what type of supplements works for you guys?
I'm a glutamine guy. I'm a branched chain guy. I know they say glutamine doesn't build muscle. I'm 100% more curious about how I can recover relative to building muscle. If I can recover, I can build muscle.
Yeah.
And so there's studies that it's glutamine, but I love glutamine, and it works for me. Branched chain amino acids.
Yeah.
But I'm a vitamin C guy.
Vitamin C.
I'm a vitamin D guy.
Yeah.
E.
Yeah.
So not extremist when it comes to supplementation. More basics. More food, and again, staying consistent on that seems to help more than anything else for me.
But now it comes down to timing. So for you guys, I mean, how important, we talked about recovery. So how soon is it, do you take, do you do the branch chain intra or post or?
I take the glutamines before and after. I'm a 15 minutes after workout guy. I'm eating a meal. But I know, Stan, you said you eat 2 hours before.
Yeah.
I eat about 5 minutes before. I get up at 3. By 3:30, I'm down in a meal and I'm off to the gym. So, not much of a digestion into 4 o'clock training.
Do you take the branch chain or do you do the protein right when you get up?
No, 3:30.
3:30.
3:30.
So just branch chain. So no pre-workout.
No, not right now pre-workouts, but I love pre-workouts. Yeah, anything that would wake my ass up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I love. Kicking the ass, looking at Mona, whatever it is, I'm up, I'm going. Stan, I got a question for you. Do you weigh food? Or you eyeball?
Portion control, yeah, it's pretty simple for me because the food that I eat, I already know the size of it. When I take it out, take the meat out, cut it in half, and I'm getting exactly what I'm getting. What I hear more, most important thing when they talk about when they say weigh food, I see consistency, discipline, time management, organization. That's what I see here. And that's what I end up doing for my athletes when I get a high profile athlete. I'm usually behind the scenes talking to their wife or their manager or their girlfriend, trying to figure out, do they have what they need when they need it in terms of the shopping, the meal prep, etc. These guys never miss meals because they're organized. And I never miss meals because I plan ahead and I take them with me. I went to Cheesecake Factory last night and I ordered 4 to-go meals, just a little hamburger patty and some rice and some pickles. And I brought chicken stock with me, or we went to
Whole Foods.
And then I got up this morning and I prepped all of that and I put it into thermos, and I've got 3 thermoses in my bag. And I won't go 4 hours without a meal all day long today because it's already ready for me. I prepped it ahead of time. That's what I do for myself, and that's what I do behind the scenes. It's the logistics of what I do when my athletes travel. I figure out where you're going to stay. Do they have a kitchenette or a fridge and a microwave? Is your food going to be there? How many meals you're taking with you? That's the kind of organizational thing that I help my athletes with, and that's what I hear these guys do every day of their lives.
Does that sound like a pain?
Unless you're
You guys-
sponsored by Icon.
Yeah. Well, I find it to be cheaper and it's more cost effective and more time efficient to have it organized and prepared than it is to go out and forage for food or end up in a restaurant and eating something that causes, gastric distress or whatever. So
Once
it
you,
saves time.
once you experience it and you feel the difference, it's hard to go the other way. Go
Oh
back
my
to
God,
that
yeah. You
normal
can't eat
path.
fast food. It'll
Sleep
just
for
kill
you.
you.
You mentioned sleep. 5 weeks out for this show, I was getting 9 hours of sleep. The last 2 weeks, my career cut into my 6-hour sleep pattern, and I dropped 7 pounds.
Brain fog.
Yeah. So again, when you start to implement those sensible, consistent pathways, which I've been able to do with all 3 of you gentlemen and watching you, what a difference it's made. And it's sparked for my clients a different.
Feels like health now.
Yeah, and
Forcing
that's why we
yourself
all
to do
do
things
this.
that feel
That's what
horrible.
Yeah.
We always pride ourselves on how much torture we put ourselves through, thinking that's going to accomplish something for us. When just the opposite is true. The better we can make ourselves feel, the better we perform.
Recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that you were talking about how you get with their significant other or manager and get them consistent. I put up a post last night and I say, how many do you travel and stay on nutrition? And it was a 30-70 split. So only 3 out of 10 people actually stay on the nutrition plan when they travel. Now, I started traveling in the 80s, and we used to do tuna, cans.
There was no
baby
Icon
food,
back then.
Baby food.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that even back then I was doing this, and it was a lot tougher. It's a surprising when you start getting organized in one part of your life. It just seems for me and my clients and people I work with or people I hang out with or the elite of the elite, it organizes everything. And it organizes their whole life. It organizes the relationship, the house, business. So we're not just talking health and fitness and staying on plans for nutrition, but this is something that funnels into everything.
And all you guys that are older, these are like 50s and 60s. It has nothing to do with it. You can always get it straight. Always. Age has nothing to do with it. I remember coming out of bodybuilding, retired in 2001, and I thought, kept training real hard. And I noticed that the clothes that I was wearing previously changed. All of a sudden they were hanging off me. I'm thinking, that's the problem, right? But, in that anabolic state, you're there. It keeps you there. You get more water in the tissue, into the muscle, to the skin and everything. And then as the time went on, those same clothes I was wearing, $200-300 pair of pants, shirts, and all these things, it was hanging off me. And I thought, you're not retaining your muscle tissue. Something is wrong here. And then I started looking back and going through all my records, and I realized that when you come off that stuff, the body definitely does not retain that much. I think really over the years, I think it just put water in your body. I don't really think it really developed any muscle tissue, seriously. I think it's just a progress that your body's going to go through, and then as you come off of these things, your body's going to settle down. It's just normal. It took me seriously working with Mike, working on my own, getting my joints back used to that heavy weight again. It took me 12 years to get back to where my body is where it is right now, 12 years. To rebuild it naturally, not with no chemicals, naturally. And it just reconstructed itself with my strength and everything, completely.
Zach?
Yeah, so I know Mike has a really good muscle-mind connection when training. Do all 3 of you focus on the muscle-mind connection when doing a movement, and how do you develop that muscle-mind connection?
Well, I've seen Stan deadlift, and I'm pretty sure there's no mind to muscle connection. Beast. I think we all have that. I know Robby does. I can speak for him. That to be able to watch Robby do this, And it's cool that we've grown off each other just by working out and seeing that. But I find that mind and muscle is 10 times more important than anything else.
Yeah.
And the reason why is you can have a guy squat 600 with skinny legs. All right? And then you can have, no, stop that.
800 with skinny legs. 800 with skinny legs.
I think it's 854 if I'm correct. And then you can have a guy with monstrous legs that barely squats 315. So there is a speed movement, all right, for developing, and then there's also a mind and muscle for developing. I think I would have developed a lot more muscle younger if I wasn't so hungry just to be the strongest guy there is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so.
Totally agree.
So how do you develop that muscle? Like, what are you trying to do? Are you just focusing more on the muscle when you're doing it, like to develop that, like being more conscious of it?
For me and Robbie, I know that we cover up. We're not looking in the mirror. We're actually, even if the mirror is there, we're still into the muscle and understanding what's going on. Okay, and I can do this now with squats. I can transfer where I'm working as I squat. So if I sit back on the squat, it's more hamstring, glute, and I'm bringing it down, then I pause for a moment, and then I trigger and start a reaction just in the quads and flex it and take it up. Now, I developed this over time. This isn't something that's just gonna happen. My original sport was martial arts, and I think I got a lot of meditation out of that, and connection is where I got it. And it's a time thing, but for me, it's covering up, stop posing 24/7 in the gym for me, and focusing on movement.
Funny, Instagram, I seen you with your shirt working, without a shirt working.
Because of her, 8 seconds, every workout.
You have to. Our fans love that stuff, so you gotta give them what they love sometimes. Otherwise, they leave you.
100% right. What the science says, Schoenfeld et al. Studies, hypertrophy and how muscle responds to training stimulus. And what they say is that you can develop a lot of strength and size in a portion of the muscle, say with a half squat or a leverage style of powerlifting movement, which is what I have always done, which is why I have like half the muscle in the quad that I should. When you take that muscle through a full range of motion, that's going to be the stretch for your chest, or it's going to be a pretty significant knee bend, as you see Mike do on leg presses. When you get the knee in this position, you're going to develop a lot more muscle throughout the full range of the belly. When you keep a vertical shin, like I do when I squat, then you're going to get pretty big like in one spot. You can get very strong, but you're not going to get the full development of the muscle until you give it a significant range of motion. Feels very different. It's harder, it's for sure.
Yeah, I agree too. It's a great point. Is if you watch all of us lift, there's going to be times where you go, wait a minute, I thought you were stronger than that. Pay attention to what it is and how we're lifting it. This is a huge thing because you'll see me squatting 315 or something, but I can squat 600-700 pounds. It's the way that I'm doing it for that motion, or the leg press that we were just talking about. A lot of the stuff we're doing now is basically just that connective tissue explosion work, getting more flexibility. Flexibility is key. I know it's off subject, but let me just say this right now. The more flexible you are, the longer you're gonna last.
Yeah.
All right? So that being said, so yeah, really watch how we lift the exercises, all three of us, relative to the weights. You're gonna learn a lot more.
It's still heavy, you'll still get to failure. When you move your feet in and down in the leg press, you're going to develop a lot more quad muscle and have a lot more range of motion. And the amount of weight you put on there, 6 plates might be 90% of your max. But when you put your feet up and out, and all of a sudden it's a hip hinge movement, you can lift 14 plates and it's still 90% of your max. It's a very different response from the body and how the muscles work.
Foot placement, where you place your feet, makes a whole lot of difference.
And we talk about legs a lot because that's the most dynamic exercise for overall body development, hormones, conditioning. So we really love the leg training in particular.
So the best one tip though, drop the weight until you feel it throughout the motion, then go up. And I hope that exactly, answers your question.
Because
But it's-
hypertrophy training in particular.
Yeah, just take it back, relax.
Range of motion.
I think one thing I think you can see with all of us is, yeah, you can do it overnight. You can be a sensation by 18, 19 years old. But at the same time, we all want you guys here throughout a lifetime doing this. And you can get better. And weightlifting is not something that you get better within a week. It does take time. But the ill-gained muscle cannot be kept. All right? So to rush it, to get there and get it all, it's tough to keep. To build it, foundation. Keep thinking foundation over foundation over foundation.
Since we're talking about training, can you each share what worked for you guys as far as, do you guys do a 2 on 1 off, 3 on 2 off, or 7 on? How many times do you hit the
I
muscle
try to
groups?
get him to take a day off a week. No joke.
Because we talked about recovery and it's so important. So, you know,
Okay,
when
wait
I'm
a
training
minute.
my
All right,
clients,
so maybe don't watch all we do, because yes, I do talk about recovery, and recovery is key, but also do as I say, not as I do. We love lifting, and it is passion for us, and the concept of going in and throwing down against him and the other guys that we train with is just fun for us. And we love that warrior mentality that we wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I say, get your ass up.
Really?
Or he's going, I'm ready to go. I'm already out front. Where you at? So yes, we do 1 body part a week is what we do. And that seems to work the very best for us. We believe in heavy to start with. And then secondary work is heavy for those reps that we're doing in that range.
Dr. Mike Israel had a quote where he said, you can train as long and as hard as that from which you can recover. And the reason these guys can train every day is because their sleeping and eating is on point. They're so good at recovering. And the training's the fun part, that's the easy part. When you're disciplined outside the gym, then you can train more often. So it's really dependent upon how well are you recovering.
I do want to say something for that, because I think society, I don't know where this gets misled. I know for me, I can change an individual by nutrition alone without working out.
Definitely.
I cannot change anybody that works out and does not do any kind of nutrition. Can never change it.
It's a waste of time.
You're actually, what I've seen over the years is actually you're teaching your body something that's really harmful. So, example, had 2 guys, both same age, 44 years old, both came to me. They're both 250 pounds, both 6'2", 250 pounds. One, pasta, wine, never trains. Okay, he's ready to get in shape for the first time in his life. The other guy, 6 miles a day, 2 meals a day, just protein and salads and vegetables. Who's gonna change?
First,
Pasta eating, wine drinking. What has the other guy done? Trained his body to get used to?
Starving.
Starving his body, and now he has to maintain the 6 miles a day because of that. He's doing 6 miles a day for over 3 years and only eating 2 meals a day, and his body is shut down. So I hope that's easy in layman's terms. When you're doing your body and you're trying to figure out how to change it, don't destroy it. It's a beautiful thing, and people have recovered from cancer off of watching movies and laughing 24/7. The body is an amazing thing, and we don't even comprehend it, and we're still learning. So, you know.
This is an epidemic in female bodybuilding, figure fitness, physique, just dieting, is that they shut their bodies down with over-restriction. They diet too hard, and they over-restrict micronutrients in particular by demonizing entire food groups or entire foods. And when they get a diverse array of foods and are able to eat more, Dr. Lane Norton's worked very hard on getting people to reverse diets, getting women to eat more food, and use exercise as a way to create that calorie deficit as opposed to starvation. So it's really important.
And just to go a little bit further, and that is why I try to teach my body to utilize carbohydrates in a large amount of it, and at odd times. Fruit at night, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Again, my body takes time, gets used to it, and starts utilizing it, and stays in shape.
Everybody's gonna leave here and buy fruit.
Yeah, don't do it. It's not what I'm saying.
Weisenberg.
It's a metaphor for everything I do.
Yeah.
But I'm teaching it again. I'm teaching it again because
Fruit is back.
I'm basically the guy over here running 6 miles a day, eating twice a day, because I'm so perfect on nutrition and everything. So I understand that I'm still in a sense, even though we're in good shape and I'm 100 years old, I'm still doing something to my body and I'm training in a certain way. That's why I try to fix it. Because a good example is Mona. And I don't know if you guys have seen her. She won Miss Universe. She's the former editor of Muscle and Fitness. Hers eats pizza and hamburgers all the time. Every time you see me
And it's
on my
good.
feed saying I'm eating a hamburger or pizza, it's not. I'm just playing like I am. It's her. But she has a metabolism that's working at 100%. And I'm not saying now, don't do the fruit thing and don't do the pizza thing.
Yeah.
Again, understand my whole point here is that her body is functioning so well, and she trains 3 times a week, heavy, and she eats the way she eats consistently, her body utilizes those calories. All right? Now that's genetics. Everybody says I got good genetics. I don't got, that's genetics. A guy I trained with, Keith Evans, 275-pound football player. Donuts every day.
It's like me.
Again, so you understand teaching your body is a key point. Now I'm not saying eat bad is a key point, but look where you're at. Look where your calories are at. Change it up to teach your body and get in shape.
Exactly. It's all nutrition. I think nutrition is probably the reason I'm still able to lift heavy, never had any injuries in any joints, not even muscle strain, because I think the eating plays a
Wait a
huge
minute.
role in it.
No, your legs aren't sore after our leg day? Oh, I'm out of here. That's lame.
But that regimented eating and sticking to the, towing the line and all of that, I think it's really kind of preserved my physique. And as I said, I feel young. Seriously, first I was thinking, wow, I feel awful young talking to myself, like awful young.
Which he does a lot.
But then it's definitely, I think a lot of it is nutrition. And nutrition keeps that body healing, keeps it recovering from the workouts. Yes, I use glutamine and creatine on a regular basis. I do it in the morning after training. Heavy and light days, whichever, but I always keep that nutrition is my sounding board. That's where everything is. I follow that nutrition gap. I never deviate from it. As I say, I feel young, seriously.
I love it.